wonderful day to be a Wolverine and the back-to-back Big Ten champs. Number 44 is in the books. Hopefully, we go into this playoff season and do better than we did last year. Big Ten championship game. I think it was kind of how me and you both talked about it, how it going. We pretty much wear him down. I mean, Aiden O'Connell, as we said, played his heart out.
Had the game of his life, and hats off to him, man. He come out, and I forget what he was.
It was like 15 for 16 to start the game or something like that.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And I remember texting. I was like, we both said it in the show that day. Was that he's probably going to come out and ball.
And he did, and that what's the kid's name? Jones.
Charlie Jones.
Charlie Jones. Yeah, I knew he was good, but man, he put on a show too.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was definitely Aiden's favorite target. I easily had over 10 receptions, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Probably had damn near 20 targets, honestly. I will say, kind of made me laugh really hard going off to what the whole Charlie Jones thing is that Gus Johnson decided to pretty much compare him to every single white slot receiver that's ever played the game. And I was like, I don't know if this is a racist, which obviously it's not. That's not what I'm saying, but it's a joke. But yeah, he's like Edelman, Amendola, Wes Welker, and I'm like, all right, I guess. I mean, he could be.
So I like Gus Wright. And he's a Michigan guy, but on the flip side, a white guy couldn't say that. So they're totally off subject.
I already know where you're going. That's right. That's where I was at. I was about to go there too.
Jigaboo. That guy if that was a white guy again, he'd have been fired before Boo.
100%. Which guys, we're not trying to.
4 hours later, he comes up with this bullshit. Oh, I was meant to say bugaboo.
And who the fuck ever says bugaboo?
Right. And it was, he forgot where he was, which is fine. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're too butthurt as a society to do this, but you and I have talked about this for years. I would love to have some broadcasters that knew what they're doing just talk like they were sitting on their couch with their buddies watching TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swearing, whatever. And RG3 is kind of leaning that way, but it was funny.
He's been like that forever, though. Like it was first game of the season, he said the whole thing about Alex Orji when he scored a touchdown.
Orji in zone,
and I was like, this man just needs to be a college football announcer. And the next time I don't remember what game he did later in the year. He did a game for us again, and he said some funny shit during that too.
Yeah, every time I watch his broadcast, he does something funny, and he has said on Twitter, he likes to be edgy and he's come dangerously close to crossing that line a few times. But I forget who he was on that. I think it was Steve Young that was sitting to his right, to the left if you watch the TV. And when he said Jigaboo, Steve Young went. And it was funnier than fuck, man. I watched that just to see that like 3 or 4 times. But anyways, Gus Johnson, it's kind of funny. I believe he's a Michigan alum. And in general, he's seen as like a Michigan homer, but and I know you were at the game, but like that Ohio State game, him and Joe Klatt were blowing Ohio State so hard for most of the first 3 quarters, and not really giving Michigan a chance. And then, turned around when Michigan started doing what they do in the fourth quarter, and kind of the same thing with the Purdue game, not nearly as hard. And it was more about Aiden O'Connell, and I get it. And I get that, they have structure you got to follow, and there's probably an agenda on the, from the network, but I just thought it was really weird. Like they were blatantly biased towards OSU, and then all of a sudden, we're the second best team in the NFL, and then Purdue game, kind of the same thing. The game's in doubt here. It's 14-13. They're gonna blah blah blah. Oh, that then we go up 2 scores. Michigan does what they always do, but if they do what they always do, why are you talking like they're gonna lose? I don't know. I don't think that they're the best pair of announcers in in college football, but I'm in the minority on that. A lot of people do. Like I said, I like Gus, I like Joe Klatt, but it just, I don't know, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, like I haven't really the Ohio State game. I don't really know. Like you said, I was at the game. I mean, I've watched like the replays and stuff. But obviously, in the 30-minute recaps, I'm not hearing everything they're saying.
Right.
I mean, last week I didn't really think it was that bad. Last week, like I said, I can't quote from the Ohio State game. I didn't think it was horrible last week. I mean, other than the O'Connell stuff, but the O'Connell stuff's going to come because of his brother dying, and
yeah, and they're always gonna pump the feel good narrative, just like, and I shouldn't even mention this kid's name, but just like Eric All, when they, with the whole house fire thing, they took that and ran with it and pushed it. And it's a cool story, right? But now the Hawkeyes are blasting it too, like, that was their deal. But that's a whole other deal.
Yeah,
I rewatched that Purdue game yesterday just to, well, in large part to see if my memory of those them being so biased was right, and it was. So, but it is what it is. We're 13-0, and hopefully, in a couple of weeks we're 14-0, and a week or two after that we're 15-0.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to read your text that you sent me last night saying we weren't going to win?
Yeah, go ahead. I got screenshots from text from you like 3 times. Oh, we're going to Hawaii when there was a rainbow over.
I did not know.
We're losing for sure.
The rainbow thing. Yeah. I forgot.
There's no way we're winning now. There's a rainbow over the stadium. So shut the fuck up.
I'm pretty sure you responded and said, yeah, that's not a good thing. But it was that game, Indiana and Illinois. And I think Rutgers too in the first half.
Right. So
I'm used to. I mean, even though we're 24-2 over 25-2 over the past 2 seasons, my scar tissues are still there.
Well, and that's where I'm at with the TCU. I still have this uneasy feeling, even though on paper, and I mean everybody, it's amazing.
On paper, we should win by 2-3 scores.
Right, and I think we probably will, but it's amazing to me how accurate Vegas really is.
Well, yeah, it's not.
They're just not that wrong that often, and TCU's got a lot of talent, but I think I don't think they're on our level or Ohio State's level, or probably even Penn State's level.
At Penn State level, maybe.
So talent and depth always win in the end, and that's why Bama's been Bama for 15 years, right? Yeah. And we're not where Bama is or was. I think we're probably where Bama is right now.
Bama's bye-bye Nick Saban soon. He's going to retire.
Yeah. If he has one more year like he did this year, he'll be out.
He might be gone. He might retire after this year.
And he may.
There's a lot of talks about that down here that I've heard.
Is there? Fuck, he's what, 75 or something? I mean,
I had no clue. By the way, going back real quick, Gus Johnson is not a University of Michigan alum. He went to Detroit Jesuit and then graduated from Howard.
Okay, Detroit kid then. That's right.
Yeah, he's a Detroit kid. Just that was just to go back that way on that. But anyways, and then yes, Nick Saban is 71. Holy fucking shit. He don't even he doesn't. You don't even seem like he's 71.
No.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna go off on a tangent before we go on this. It's kind of got to do with the Big Ten championship game. Tell me right now, if it was anybody else other than fucking Nick Saban, that they would have let them come on at the fucking halftime. That was our fucking halftime show to fucking pretty much suck the committee's cock.
No, nobody else would have that pull. The only person that may have that pull
Was
is
Urban Meyer
when he was coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Harbaugh could probably get on TV at halftime too, and not so much just for his college credibility or whatever, but his whole scope of things. He's been in the national spotlight for 30 something years, and has got as big a network of people as anybody else. But another part of the reason that I rewatched it yesterday was just to watch Saban just grovel and beg. It was so funny, man. He's and I get it. You want to go to bat for your guys, and you want to go. You want to get in, but he went against everything that he said over the last 10, 15 years. Just because the narrative fit him this time. So, whatever. So, the Purdue game, go back to finish recapping that. That was, pretty much what we expected. JJ looked good. Edwards looked good again. Colson Loveland, another touchdown. Will Johnson, 2 picks, right? He's went from a fill-in player to an every down player to borderline superstar over the last couple of games. Doing that number 2 well.
Yeah, so far. I mean, as a freshman, true freshman at that, not just a freshman, true freshman.
Right.
You can't ask for very much more. I mean, he's played a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of hype at him coming in, period. But it was great to finally. I mean, we've seen him play. He played great against Ohio State, defending wise, and we've seen the sparks there all season. Because I think that was his 3rd interception this year.
I think so.
I think he had one against I think it was like later in the season, maybe Illinois or something like that. He had one. I don't remember. But no, he's played great. I mean, JJ McCarthy. I mean, we won the game the same way that we've won the game all year. But I mean, obviously the first half we had to throw the football, and it worked. I mean, he had what was his numbers? His numbers were 11 for 16 for 161. A majority of those came in the first half.
Yeah.
His 1 interception, that was him being fucking too cocky and trying to put something there that wasn't, not even close. But I mean, the dude ball out. When we needed the passing game, it was there. And when we needed the running game, it was there at the end of the day.
Yep.
And then we did what we've been doing all season.
Yeah, Khalil Mullins too, right? 2 touchdowns.
Oh, he did have 2. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. I mean, Donovan Edwards. To me, the Donovan Edwards run coming out of halftime was huge. It sparked us literally right out of halftime. Kind of like the
absolutely.
Colson Loveland touchdown versus Ohio State 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. However long ago, 3 weeks ago now. Come out, score on the first drive. Him going beast mode. By the way, and that 27-yard touchdown run. very interested to see him next year and whether Corum comes back, which I think he is personally.
He has to.
I mean, you make them money down here now. Like it's not like you're not making anything. And
Right.
he's one of our, if not the biggest, one of the biggest, like the top 3 NIL like people that we have on the team.
Yep.
The amount of money he makes, I don't remember how much it was. I think I read it the other day. But I can't remember. It's insane. I was very intrigued to see the way that Purdue played, though, and especially, I mean, Purdue was able to move the ball, and it kind of like sucks because again, I thought Purdue was gonna. I mean, Purdue was one of the top teams come out of the West. God knows, no one saw Illinois coming this season. But I mean, like I said, what, fourth quarter, it was 28-19, 9-score game, with 12:37 left. I mean, they hang in there, but as we've done all season, ran the ball, wore them out. And I think that's what we do against TCU, and it doesn't matter. By the end of the day, it's just going to be we just tired them out.
Yeah. Yeah, just wear them down, right? And you know when they're sucking for win, man, we're just hitting our stride, and that's kind of do the deal. And I think we can do that to Ohio State again, and I don't know if we can do that to Georgia. Georgia's built to do basically what we're built to do. They got a couple great tight ends.
What I just want to know what kind of fucking steroids or whatever the fuck their tight ends are on, because they're both fucking massive.
Just massive. And athletic, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what game. I was watching a game last night. Their tight end might have been, I think it was a Troy UTSA game. Their fucking tight end, I thought was a lineman. And this dude was probably 280 to 300 pounds of just fat. It wasn't even like muscle. It was just, and I was like, that dude's a tight end. And I was like, that's why you're playing at UTSA or Troy. I mean, whatever. I'm just rambling on. But I was like, God damn, speaking of tight ends. Time of possession of that game. I think is that the first time we haven't led time of possession this season?
Ohio State.
Oh yeah, Ohio State did. Yeah. And I mean, that's another good sign. I mean, 2 weeks in a row where we were outgained. Well, actually, I don't know what about the Ohio State game. I'd have to look at the yardage. Out time of possession, out of first downs. Purdue had more first downs by 10, and we still win the football game by 21 points. I know at the Ohio State game, the first downs are about the same. I think it was like 8 they had more than us. And I mean, that defense is the bend, don't break to a T, in my opinion. Hold them to 3 instead of 6.
Yeah,
with our offense, as long as our offense plays the way it has all season, that's going to be good enough to win ball games. Like, look at Illinois. We're gonna go down, and in my opinion, if it came down to field goals, we're gonna go down to get field goals probably 99% more than what our defense is gonna give up. I feel like Michigan could 85% of the drives get field goals.
Yeah, so I don't remember what our second half was, but I remember the first half. We had 4 drives to their 9, 4 possessions to their 9.
Yeah, we had like 1 and like a quarter of a possession in the first quarter or something like that. But I mean, it was a great game on Big Ten title. We remain the defending champs, so I mean, it's great to see. First time since what 2000 no 96 90 97 98 or 96 97. I don't even remember when we went back to back last.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm not I think it was 96, 97.
03 04. That's what. Okay. How do we go? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, player of the game. I mean, I'm gonna go with Will Johnson. Honestly,
Yeah.
his one interception was huge. They were right down there on the goal line, just saying I called it. I have text message proof that I said we're getting not a pick, but a turnover that drive. It was a both of them were beautiful moves and beautiful jumps. Timed it perfectly, came right over the top and snagged it.
Yeah.
He's my player of the game. I mean, you can go a lot of ways with this, like we have been able to all season. But
Yeah, for sure. You know, one thing that surprised me that I didn't even realize till just a few minutes ago. I was looking at the stats from that game. Is Junior Colson had 15 tackles that game.
that Junior Colston he was my player to watch this season when we did that episode, and he hasn't failed. He's leads the team in tackles.
He's been my defensive player of the game at least 4 or 5 times, and he could have been. You know, there's a couple times, and today's a good example where I've given it to someone else that was deserving, but you could make an argument for him as well. You know,
Yeah.
so
he leads the team.
A hell of a season.
He leads the team in tackles, 95 tackles this year. I mean, from last year, I mean, you can just tell he's destined to be a star. And as what is he, a sophomore? As a sophomore, hopefully he comes back and we get more of it next season.
Yep.
I mean, I think he does, but yeah, I just had something come into my head that I wanted to talk about other than what was going on, but I lost it. Anyways, moving on, I guess you good. I mean, I think the Big Ten championship game. We have back to back. We talked. In my opinion, we talked way more than I thought we would about it. With it being 3 weeks out already. Now on to, the sad news of the past few weeks. We'll start with this one. Rest in peace to Michi. We'll go off that first. Such a intriguing story. I've had Michigan State fans when they did that the little piece on him when Fox did that little piece on him.
Yep.
I think it was Indiana week or something like that. Timmy called me and was like, how the fuck a Wolverine got me fucking crying. And but no, I'm like, hey, you sit there and just see a young kid. What are you, 18, 19 now?
18 years old, a few days before his 19th birthday. So I didn't realize he was that young. I thought he was in his early 20s because, you know, he had a little kid that was 3 or 4. So I guess I just kind of assumed that you know, he was a little bit older than he was. But, you know, that's one of the things to me that's great about college sports is that, you know, and you see it half a dozen times a year throughout the country, but the day that he passed, I no shit, I think I seen more mentions in tweets from Buckeyes and Spartan fans than I did Michigan fans. And if you spend 30 seconds in the college football area, there's just not many nice things said, right, to anybody about anybody. But that's kind of thing that hits home for everybody and brings everybody close together. I know there's been other examples, but I remember, probably, and I'm horrible about this, but 6-7 years ago, Michigan State had that little girl Lacey.
Lacey, yeah, her and Andrew Payne, which
Yep.
rest in peace to both of them now.
Yep.
I mean, it brings the college football community, and that just kind of shows that. It shows that things are bigger in life than just playing football and rivalries. Like I said, to have a kid that's 18 years old, to have parents have to go through that. Just watching in that little documentary, he's a kid. He's scared. He was very scared, and that's just the heartbreaking part about it. Is that's somebody who had tons and tons of potential, and then it just shows that life can be taken away from you just like that. So don't live every day to your fullest, and don't have any regrets. That's the best way to live life, because you never know what can happen. Never know what can happen.
Right.
But yeah, I think we go. I texted you this before. The storyline's there. Go win it for Michi. Go win the Natty Boys. Go bring it home for Michi. Did you see they're gonna have a helmet sticker and stuff for him?
Yep, and I thought that was really cool too that they did that. What a great honor, That's if Jim Harbaugh is nothing, he's a guy that stands for the team traditions and stuff, and I haven't heard him really talk about it or anything, but to me, that's probably the highest honor that he could give that young man, because those stickers mean something. At a lot of schools, you get a sticker for buckling your chin strap 2 straight plays, and we don't hand them out lightly, or as lightly as a lot of places do. So I really thought that was a great honor for him.
Yeah, definitely is, and rest in peace to Michi. Next one kind of shocked me, and I think shocked the whole college football world. Mike Leach.
Absolutely.
Was, again, out of nowhere, was fine one day, was in the hospital, a heart attack.
Yeah, sounds like it was a heart attack.
Yeah, again, as I said, never know what's going to happen. Life can take it from me. But Mike Leach is he was a face of college football, like one of the faces of college, like big name, like kind of like he was a big part of college football, in my opinion. Everyone knows about Mike Leach. Everyone knows who Mike Leach is, whether it was just for his time at Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma, when he was an assistant. Everybody knows who Mike Leach is, whether it's from his quotes, his outrageous fucking quotes, his post-game interviews, in-game interviews. It's a sad day. It was a sad day in college football world Tuesday morning. I woke up and seen that.
For sure to me, he's one of my favorite coaching personalities, probably my favorite coaching personality, and I've loved him since his air raid days. And he left Texas Tech on a little bit of a bad note, but a lot of that got to be disproven. But to me, he was just a guy of everyone who happened to be really good at coaching football, and
Yeah.
it was
Never played the game. He wasn't like someone
right.
who was played the game, played at the college level, because he didn't. He was just somebody. He was a strategist, as you would call it, I guess, more than
Yep.
anything. He wasn't that player who could come back. It was, hey, I did play, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know what the fuck I'm gonna do, because he never really had. I mean, being now he was at Mississippi State. That program had gotten way better this year.
Yeah, for sure. So it's funny is that I've always been a big reader, right? And like I said, I've always kind of followed him a little bit, so I know a lot of his stories. But since his passing, there's a lot of people that shared a lot of stories, and the guy was always a talker, right? And that's what made him so funny, because he always he didn't try to filter anything out. He always just said what he wanted to say and what was on his mind. But Lincoln Riley told a story, and maybe you read this. Is they were out to eat, and Mike Leach takes this call, and he talks to this guy for an hour, and all of a sudden he's saying hello, 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 and he picks up the phone, and he calls the guy back, and they talk for like 20 more minutes. And Lincoln Riley's kind of annoyed, right? Because they're supposed to be out to dinner doing this thing, and he says, "Hey, Mike, who is that?" And he's like, "I don't know, wrong number." And to me, that just kind of epitomizes the guy.
Yeah.
There is story after story of him just taking, 10 minutes to do things that kids and fans of the game appreciate, and a lot of people don't do. And it'll be interesting to see, because he walked or rode his bike to almost every practice wherever he was. I read this other story of this young reporter in Washington, called him for a quote, and he's like, "Yeah, you can walk with me to work." And they end up navigating through woods that's no trail, and he's like, "Yeah, I take a different path every day. I just walk through these woods." The guy doesn't even they're walking up hills, and he ends up giving her a pair of his wife's hiking boots, because I don't remember if she wore sandals or flip-flops or whatever she wore wasn't appropriate for what they were doing. And then along the way, they stop and get a coffee at a coffee shop, and Mike Leach purposely carries this mug, whatever it was, 5 miles. It was like an hour, 50-minute walk, right, each way. So the guy coached for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, right, and then walked for an hour home and back, when he's making enough money to have a chauffeur pick him up if he wants to. But what was really funny to me was that the first time Mike Leach got to Washington and he went into this coffee shop, he had this competitor's mug, and the coffee shop guy kind of gave him some serious shit about it, was kind of an asshole about it. So from that day forward, Mike Leach, of course, carried that competitor's mug in there and had him fill that mug. And this guy had given Leach a bunch of mugs to keep him from doing that. But that was Leach's little way of jabbing the guy, hey. So really cool guy, really unique guy. The college football, and in my opinion, the world's a little bit less now that he's gone. So a little bit surprised, but who knows? We'll probably never know. The guy wasn't the picture of health, right? But he with the amount that he biked and worked, a little bit surprising to see it was a heart issue. But those things happen.
It does. I mean, you were going off you got me thinking about the whole with Lincoln Riley. When Lincoln Riley got as a player, Mike Leach did you read that story?
Yeah.
About how when Lincoln Riley's a player, Mike Leach told him, "You're never going to play," and is like, "Hey,
you're not good enough.
Like come be an assistant, like a graduate assistant, pretty much."
Yeah.
And Lincoln Riley apparently stomped out of the room, didn't come back, and then the next day came back, and I mean, now look at him. Was pissed off, thought about it.
Guys coached 3 out of the last 6 Heisman winners.
Yeah, but there's some argument there. Yeah, I mean, he has coached them. I'm not saying
Correct.
I'm not saying he's produced them because, no, I won't say that. This is one of my. Go ahead.
And I know where you're going with that, and that's fine. But at the very least, he knew enough not to fuck him up and try to change him, right? And just be not that alone doesn't make him a great coach. And he's had good teams, not great teams. His teams always seem to choke in big games, but it's a great recruiting tool for him. And I think,
yeah, especially at the quarterback position,
he knows how to coach these guys to win awards and to get the PR going. And I think it's a lot easier where he is out in LA than it was in Oklahoma. But still, Mike Leach's coaching tree kind of surprised me. I knew Lincoln Riley. I didn't know Sonny Dykes. TCU.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I was surprised too.
Yeah, TCU, and that's another thing that I think makes this a little bit interesting is that could give. And now, at this level, at this point in the year, you shouldn't need any extra motivation. But that Sonny Dykes might be able to use it as a little extra motivation for his team. Let's go out and win one for coach.
I mean, like I said, I think the whole college football world is very, 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 very much taken back by it, and not even. I mean, there's people who don't watch college football that know who Mike Leach is because of stuff like that, just what he does. I mean, I think this is one of his best interviews from this season. It was on Thanksgiving.
A lot of people are going to be watching that game on Thanksgiving. So if you were celebrating Thanksgiving and making your plate, what are you putting on it?
Oh, I always make the gravy, and I do make great gravy. I'm not a big cook guy, and haven't been, but I've made the gravy for decades. I always I always get white meat, a little stuffing, not too much, lots of mashed potatoes, gravy over everything. Hopefully they have greens. They generally don't. And then corn or green beans, never sweet potatoes.
Ask him if he likes cranberry sauce.
I like fruit pies better than any of this pumpkin apple stuff,
Are you a cranberry sauce fan?
Yeah, but
all right.
just a quick little droplet of it. I'm not going to get carried away with that either.
Coach, thank you so much.
I mean, and that's just a snippet. I mean, the dude, and there's plenty more that we could probably get on YouTube right now and watch a fucking hour and a half, 2 hour fucking snippet, all his interviews. And
oh man,
I mean, between his take on aliens and Bigfoot to I mean, the man was a very special person in the college football world. Not even just that, just a great, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know the dude obviously, like in real life. It seems like a very genuine, down to earth dude. I mean,
and not just a student of football, right? A student of life, a student of everything,
and that's a very big thing.
Yeah, he's one of the very few guys that you could sit down and I think you could have literally thrown anything at him and he could have talked about it to you for 10 or 15 minutes. You know what I mean? He knew about a lot. Another cool story I read is he was a Key West rat, right? When football wasn't in season, he had a place in Key West and lived down there. And there was this guy, he's just a football fan, seen him in there and didn't want to bother him type of deal. And finally Mike Leach is like, hey, are we going to both drink by ourselves or are you going to come up here and have a beer with me? And the guy's like, hell yeah. And he's like, I forget exactly what the deal is, but it was something like the guy stopped in to have a beer while he was waiting on his wife to do something. And 4 hours later, he's like, hey, I really got to go. So you fast forward 2 years later, right? And same place, same bar. And this guy walks in and Leach is like, hey, you drink Corona, right? Want a Corona? So Mike Leach had this random encounter with this guy, and 2 years later, remember what kind of beer he drank too, and they sat down and talked again. So just a really unique, quirky guy, and there's not enough of those guys in the world, and it's just too bad. 61's really young.
Yeah, I mean, especially in today's age. I mean, it again, it's been a weird week in college football. I mean, just with all that, and say, Michi, Mike Leach, rest in peace. Sad to see them both go. But all right. Let me just go ahead and clarify something we talked about. I think it was on the last episode about it might take us down a little rabbit hole, but I think we almost went down this rabbit hole earlier, so I'll just open it up. Completely agree with you on Cade McNamara now. As we talked last time, I was kind of against what you were saying, but I think like 2 days later I texted you and said that, especially when the whole Eric All thing came out. And I don't want to talk bad about players. I mean, you did what you did, but how are, in my opinion, as we talked about, and like I thought about more, especially with Eric All. I mean, 2 of our captains this season are now transferring to somewhere else.
And if we were 8-4, people would be losing their minds saying there was a problem with the culture, right? The only thing that's quieted that is because we're where we're at.
Well, in my opinion, the culture problem's gone now.
Well,
I think Cade McNamara now was probably because I remember I texted you said afterward, I think like the week after we talked about it on here was you didn't see him post anything when we beat Ohio State.
Right.
I get he was recovering from surgery, but shit, Blake Corum posted
right
after the Big Ten Championship last week. And I mean, my opinion, Blake Corum is one of the most biggest leaders on that team, whether
absolutely.
I mean, just not even just because he carries the team, but I mean, I think going on how Eric All is now going to Iowa also, which pretty much came out as soon as there was word that Eric All might be transferring, was that he was going to Iowa, that Cade talked him into it. What I was really confused with that was that Eric All, not even like a week before that, 2 weeks before that, had announced that he was coming back to Michigan.
Right.
And they had a change of heart right after Cade announced he was transferring. And it's just magical. And now, I mean, there's some fans being pretty fucking ruthless on Twitter and whatever. Like, no need to attack a kid. And I mean, I get it. Eric Hall's dad and brother are fucking being stupid as fuck too.
Right.
But that kind of puts them in a bad situation too, is when you have fans that are talking shit about your son or your brother. You're probably going to stick up for him, whether or not, because I mean, that's why I'm not like super mad that I see him out there talking, but that's the bad thing about social media and in this world now. And I mean, it's never going to change. Is that you get those opportunities where you have shit fans that want to get on there, talk shit. I have nothing else better to do in life, and then you do get those parents and family members that do stick up for the kid. No, I don't blame them at all. I don't. But that's like I said, that's the problem with social media.
If you were playing somewhere and somebody trashed you, you best believe I'd get up there and defend it. So I get that, right? But Eric Hall's father started the attacks, and then Eric Hall's dad he posted that gif of Jack Harbaugh, little Jack, crying. And then tried to say he didn't know that was Harbaugh's kid.
Dude, you've been around the team for how long?
Right. So,
Your son's a
you know,
senior.
I'm curious to see if Harbaugh doesn't revamp the captain process because, it's always been team voted. And I think maybe Harbaugh will throw out 5 guys of his choice and let the team vote. Because I do think part of it could have been just kids voting for kids. Bad choices. But that's the biggest dagger to me is captains. And it's, it's happened. There's a lot of schools. The kid from Arizona State coming to us was a captain.
Which, again, huge pickup there. That's a I mean, but going like that. No, I guess it really. I was going to say that makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion, is that's somebody leaving a school that's probably not going to be competing for playoffs anytime soon.
Right.
And coming to that, unlike Cade McNamara and Cade wasn't going to play probably unless JJ got hurt. But Eric All would probably be the starter next season. Him and Colson Loveland together would be
Schoon's gone, right? I mean, yeah.
Schoon's gone. I mean, it's that Eric Hall's thing. It's got to be not throwing. I mean, kind of throwing shade, but it's got to be Cade McNamara getting into his head and just trying to pull somebody that way. He has someone he's thrown to for years.
I think the dad has something to do with it. So the crux of things, right, is that Michigan doctors didn't think he needed surgery, didn't want him to have it. He went to some guy who's supposedly renowned. Of course, a surgeon's going to tell you need surgery. That's what they do. I've had 3 different back surgeons told me 15 years ago that I needed back surgery. I wasn't going to walk in 5 years, and here I am. So, but he goes to the strip mall doctor. This has a surgery in a strip mall, right? And Michigan basically says, hey, you're not playing until our doctors clear you. We don't care that this guy cleared you. And they're done. Whole new era of football, right? We could talk for 2 days about the portal now and stuff. But if you're going to go, just go. Shut your mouth. No, him and Cade both had to take shots on their way out. And, yeah, they're kids still, but completely classes.
And that's a big thing to me is that I forget all the time, and I kind of clicked with me yesterday. I mean, they are still kids. I mean, I'm still a fucking kid, really. I mean,
couple more weeks. 25, you're not a kid no more.
Why? Because 25 and your car insurance goes down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Am I 25? Yeah, I am 25. Dude, I don't know. I don't know how old I am. Yeah, but no, they are. I mean, they're young. I mean, again, social media doesn't help.
Right.
Gives you a platform to put it out there so everybody can see it. Because I promise you right now, if they were to go up on that stand at an actual press conference, those words aren't coming out of their mouths.
Correct. It's a lot easier to sit behind the thing. And, when Cade left, there was a little bit of noise from people just because, he had said something a couple months ago. I don't even remember what he said. But Eric All put out 2 tweets, right? And the first tweet was pretty, just, hey, I'm leaving. Thanks, Michigan, blah, blah, blah. And then 10 minutes later, he decides to add part 2, taking shots on the way out. And that's when people went from gracious to not. And, when you do that, you open yourself up to criticism. And I'm not saying it's right for people jumping down his throat, but the biggest thing to me is the captaincy, right, and the social media thing. And you can shit on the coaches and shit on all the fans all you want, but to me, they shit on their teammates that they called their brothers for 2-3 years.
Yeah,
and by taking those shots on their way out the door, and out the door. So it's just unnecessary. And yeah, they're kids, but they're also old enough to know better, and to know what's coming. And Eric All should have really knew, because he's seen, the little bit of backlash that Cade got. And then now that they're both talking shit on social media, we're going to turn this office in the number one in the nation and blah, 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 blah. No, you're not. Not as long as Brian Ferentz is here.
I promise you that offense is not going to be any fucking better than what it's been for the past 30 fucking years. That offense has never been a powerhouse. It never will be.
No.
I mean, Kirk Ferentz, he one of those coaches that my way or the highway, this is how we're doing things, has never really changed his program at all. Cool, that's how you want to be. I mean, Iowa's always decent, finishing 8-4, 9-3, maybe a few 10-win seasons, double-digit win seasons here and there. But no, I want to find a way to get one of our non-conference programs taken away and give us another or drop somebody from the West that we're already playing, and let us please play these motherfuckers next season.
Well, hopefully we meet them in the conference championship.
I think Illinois is going to be the best team in the West next season. I mean, could be wrong because Chase Brown won't be there, but who knows? The West is a shit show. Big Ten East. The West has never won the fucking Big Ten championship. So that just says enough as it is. And that's what, 8 years now of the Big Ten championship, and of the East-West setup. Time to. I mean, I get the college football world's all going to change. It's not going to change right now. Realigning the divisions, but Jesus, man, it's bad, as we all know. But yeah, I figured we'd talk about that real quick. I mean, that both of them great players for us. Thank you for all you did, but have a good fucking day. And I hope I'm sadly I'm cheering against you. At least it's like Iowa doing good. Maybe not them personally. Go out there, do your thing, cool. But I'm cheering for Iowa to lose every single fucking game next season.
Absolutely.
I mean, that might be bad to say, but oh well.
Those kids would have had every Michigan fan, just about every Michigan fan, would have been rooting for them unless we played them, had they just kept their mouth shut and left. Cade was put in a really tough spot, and I get it. I'd be pissed as fuck too if I won you your first Big Ten championship.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talked about it all off season.
Yeah.
Me and you did. I mean, we knew if it came down to it. I mean, when JJ got the job, I know we talked about it right away. Cade's probably transferring, but not probably. He probably.
Yeah.
Gonna happen. I mean, which is fine. I mean, I get it. You're a good enough quarterback to play at the top 95. Well, to start at probably the top 99% of programs, really, in my opinion. 98 maybe. He could have pretty much wherever he wanted and been able to fight for a starting job.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than like Alabama, Georgia, places like that, like places that are already blowing out of the portion. I mean, he was, as we talked about, he was a game manager. Didn't lose his games, which is exactly what we asked for how long did we ask for that to happen? Which again, like we talked about last week or 2-3 weeks ago. Thank you for what you did. Sorry that you got put in the situation you did, that we had somebody come in who's just flat out better, and that's sports.
Yeah. Yep, that's
someone
it.
Better. It sucks, but guess what? Suck it up, Buttercup. That's life. But I mean, as I said, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I just want to play them next season really bad. But, all right. Pick 'em bowls. What's the score to this game? We're going to go through every bowl game, guys, and make selections. So real quick, I mean, I know we missed two. Hey, Cincinnati, Louisville started at 10 o'clock, well, 11 o'clock your time. It is 0-0, almost end of the first quarter, and never mind. We can't do that game now. I was about to say it's 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, almost. Cincinnati and whoever has the football is on like the 50-yard line. Do you still want to pick it real quick? But as soon as I said that, Louisville scored a touchdown. So never mind. Scratch that. So we'll focus on the other games. The first one is I'm sorry, but to just read these because all the bowl game names are stupidly hilarious in my opinion. And how many sponsors do you need? But first one, the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Jackson State, Deion's gone, and then North Carolina Central.
Jackson State.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they can keep up. That's what I'm picking too. I'm kind of hoping that they can keep up what they had going on with Deion. I don't think they do. Personally, just because it's hard without someone with the pedigree as Deion had. But, I mean, he did a lot of good change for that. The Jackson area period down here, and then Jackson State, like as a college. And I won't get into that. I was going to go off on another tangent, but we're already running a little late. I'll talk to you about it personally later. We'll talk about it next week, maybe. Next one, SRS Distribution, Las Vegas Bowl. What the hell? Florida 6-6. Oregon State is 9-3. Out in Las Vegas. I'm gonna take Oregon State.
Yeah, Oregon State for sure.
Next one. I don't even know how Jimmy Kimmel has a bowl, but the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Washington State versus Fresno State. I honestly don't.
I'm rolling with Fresno on that one.
Yeah, I don't really. I know Washington State's decent this season. Not, they aren't like good, but yeah, I'll probably run with. Fuck it. I'm gonna go with Washington State. I mean, hopefully they can pull it off against a not weaker opponent. Fresno State's has been a decent team. Oh, I'm stupid. I said Washington State. Has been a decent team really since Derek Carr was there. Next one, Lending Tree Bowl. When is this game? Because I might go to it. Lending Tree Bowl, Mobile. Rice, Southern Miss. I'm taking Southern Miss. I got to roll with the local college down here.
Yeah.
Southern Miss is 6-6. I ain't sure what Rice is. I think Rice might be 6-6 also. 5-7.
Rice is 5-7. Rice just because.
Yeah, Rice is 5-7. They got into it. They're one of the teams that got in with 5 wins. Ha! That's funny as fuck. Cause Michigan State. How you get fucking passed up over Rice? Or
right.
How you fucking
Fresno State.
Oh, Fresno State got 5 losses too? Or 5 wins?
I think so.
I don't know. I have to look. You say you're rolling with Southern, right?
Yeah.
Or did you say Rice?
I said Rice.
Okay. Next one, New Mexico Bowl, SMU, BYU, battle of the religious schools. Isn't BYU like Mormons or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't honestly remember what they actually are, but
they're Mormons.
Some of these bowl games are like, I mean, both teams are 7-5. I watched BYU play. I haven't watched either really one of these teams play. Especially not SMU this season. I watched BYU play a little bit. I'm gonna roll BYU.
BYU.
Frisco Bowl, North Texas, Boise State. I'll roll with Boise State.
Boise, yep.
Sorry, I'm writing stuff down. Or else we'd go a little bit faster. Myrtle Beach Bowl, Marshall, UConn.
UConn.
I'm gonna roll with we are Marshall there. I mean, even though if UConn wins, it kind of makes her season look better. Cheering for Jim. I want to see Jim Moore do good there though.
Yep.
Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Eastern Michigan, and San Jose State. I'm going with the home state team. I'm going to the Eastern. Pretty much for that reasoning only. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Anything about Eastern? Sometimes you got to pick like that. Next one. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze and I can't. Roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl.
Toledo.
Yep. Liberty Toledo. I'm gonna take Liberty. I think Liberty looked decent this season, didn't they? I don't even know what the record was. They didn't finish as good as what I thought they were. They were like weren't they in the top 25 not too long? Like
I think they might have.
And they played. I don't remember who they played, but I roll with Liberty. Toledo, Liberty, R&L Carey New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky and South Alabama. I'm gonna roll with South Alabama on this one. Another school that's close to where I'm at. Really, probably the second closest college, like big Division I school college down here. Usually have a pretty good program again. Had playing 2.5 hours away from where their actual college is. So I'm going to roll with South Alabama.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky. Next one, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Baylor Air Force.
Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, it's the academies. I'll roll with Baylor. Radiance Technology Independence Bowl. Oh, fuck. I have to. Yeah, well, let's see if I piss off the wife on this one. University of Louisiana, Lafayette versus Houston. Sorry, babe, but don't. It's ULL's going down. Houston, I think Houston wins.
Houston, yep.
Houston. Next one. Wow, I gotta really stop clicking shit. Next one. Wake Forest versus Missouri, and I don't. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go with Wake Forest. Wake Forest kind of fell off, but I'm gonna go with them because I mean, shoot, at one point this year they were way up there, looking good and looking pretty to win the ACC, and they just fell off the map.
Yeah.
But I'll roll with Wake Forest over Missouri there.
Yeah, me too.
Middle Tennessee State, San Diego State.
San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Hope.
Oh, he is back out there, isn't he? Never mind. Fuck that. He's Mr. fucking choke.
He's a good guy. He was just in too deep.
I'll still roll with San Diego State, but dude, why couldn't we just hire Jim Harbaugh the first fucking time?
He wouldn't come. We tried.
I know. He wanted to go pro. He got his opportunity. Anyways, Quicken Lanes Bowl in Detroit, which has had about 75,000 names in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
New Mexico State versus Bowling Green. I'm gonna roll with Bowling Green. Mac School.
I think Bowling Green's going to win that, but I'm going with New Mexico State.
New Mexico State. Next one, Camellia Bowl. Georgia Southern versus Buffalo. I'm gonna roll with Jordan Southern on this one.
Buffalo.
Buff. GSU. Next one is what the fuck? Sorry, my computer just decided to go back to a different screen. Memphis, Utah State. I'm gonna roll with Memphis.
Memphis.
Jesus, I did not realize there's this many bowl games.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, hey, and we're only on like December 28th, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you wanted to do them all, which I mean it'll be fun. But yeah, we're like 30 in already. Coastal Carolina versus Eastern Carolina. I'm gonna roll with Coastal on this one.
Coastal, yep.
All right, kind of a decently, maybe could be a decent game. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Wisconsin kind of has new life in the program a little bit. Kind of play a little bit better towards the end of the season. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State though.
Oh, I'm riding with the. I don't usually do this, but I'm riding with the Big Ten on this one. Wisconsin.
UCF and Duke.
Duke.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with UCF. Watching them play last week is, dude, if I write down your pick on the wrong side again, I'm gonna be really mad. You said Duke, UCF. AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Kansas, Arkansas, both teams. Can we real quick? I'm sorry, I know like we're halfway, not even like we're like halfway through. Can we talk about the fall off that came? Well, I guess Kansas quarterback got hurt, kind of fucking too. But I kind of
I think that did.
I was sitting here and I was like, they won 6 games straight to start the season, then lost 6 straight games.
Yep.
But Liberty Bowl, I'm gonna take Arkansas. Kansas beats Kansas. He took Kansas. Probably honestly a good game, a very good game. Oregon versus North Carolina. North Carolina got fucking slaughtered in the ACC championship game, and I was shocked. But I'm gonna roll with Oregon on this one. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think Oregon holds on.
Yeah, I think. I'm gonna go with Oregon too.
Texas Tech, Ole Miss. Damn, Texas Tech went home. I'm gonna roll with Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss has been another one of those teams that was weird all season. Like, almost was good, but wasn't.
Yep.
Like, really good. When I say good, I don't mean they were still a good team. But yeah, I'll go with Ole Miss. Is that here when you said yeah? Is that who you're rolling with?
Yep.
All right, Syracuse, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I'm gonna roll with. I'm picking pretty much every game against the Big Ten right now, and I really don't like it, but I'm gonna run with Syracuse. Just more because I don't like PJ Fleck, but Cheez-It Bowl, Oklahoma versus Florida State. I'm rolling with FSU on this. Oklahoma, I think, plays them decently tight, but
see, I think this is going to be another good game. Oklahoma.
Texas, Washington.
Texas.
I wish we weren't on here for like an hour already, or else I would argue with you about that and ask you why. But I think Washington. Maryland, NC State.
NC State. No, Maryland.
Oh, I was like, yes, I got one on his ass. I was like, there's no way Maryland's a team if they weren't the Big Ten, like if they went back to the ACC or went to somewhere else, I think they would now with Tulia and like the team that they had this season would have had a lot of good success. I mean, they being in the East though, in the Big Ten, you got to at least win a big game, and they can't do that. They couldn't do it. Yeah, Maryland. Pittsburgh, UCLA, and the Tiger Sun Bowl.
UCLA.
Yeah, I'm gonna take UCLA also. Notre Dame, South Carolina. South Carolina's playing hot. I'm rolling with South Carolina.
Yeah, me too.
They're fucking hot. That's a hot football team, and Notre Dame is too, though. Notre Dame's
come on too. You're right.
But South Carolina took down Tennessee, and I don't remember who else did. They took down somebody else big.
Back-to-back weeks, Tennessee and I can't remember either.
Ohio versus Wyoming.
I'll never pick Ohio for nothing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. This is with Wyoming on that. The Orange Bowl, which is super orange this year, Tennessee and Clemson.
That's a tough one, man.
Especially Tennessee don't have their starting quarterback. Hooker's out. Clemson's so fucking up and down this season. I mean, yeah, they're fucking 10-2 or whatever, 11-2. But they should not be that. They should be a lot. In my opinion, squeak games out that they should have easily won. But when, as we talk about, though, win's a win. So,
yep.
I'm gonna go with Clemson just because without Hooker, Tennessee hasn't really played anybody big. When they did, they lost. They got blown out against South Carolina.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Clemson. Iowa, Kentucky, they're playing in the same bowl. Not the same bowl, but they're playing again for the second season in a row in bowl games. I'm going to roll with Will Levis and Kentucky on this one.
Man, I can't believe I'm saying this because now they're my least favorite team, second least favorite team in college football, but I think Iowa wins that.
All right, now in the Sugar Bowl, Alabama, K-State.
Bama all day long. Bama rapes K-State, I think.
As much as I would love to see K-State pull it off, I think Bama wins it. Just letting you know, I'm turning my notepad over to the second page right now. Mississippi State versus Illinois.
Illinois, they're a tough, scrappy team.
I think Mississippi State comes fucking ready to fucking go, wheeling their fucking swords for fucking Mike Leach and blows fucking water out of fucking dude. It's set up perfect. The Mississippi State is going to Raymond James, where there's a pirate ship. Wield your swords, Mississippi by 1,000. Mississippi State by 1,000. I also fucking can't stand Brett Bielema.
I can't either because he's a little winebag bitch, but we're gonna roll with them.
I just don't think there's any way in hell Mississippi State loses that game. Not after this week. Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, LSU versus Purdue.
LSU.
Yeah, roll with LSU, even though it's. Dude, I just picked 2 Big Ten teams to lose to SEC teams. Wow. Okay. USC Tulane in the Cotton Bowl. I'm picking USC.
Oh man, Tulane.
I would love to see Tulane do great because they are from New Orleans, and I would love for that program just to do great for a while. But I think USC pulls it off. Rose Bowl game. Number 8 Utah, number 11 Penn State.
Utah.
Yeah, no, yeah, Utah. Yeah, I really got to pick. To have Penn State win that would be great. I don't see it happen. Do you want to do playoff predictions now, or do you want to hold off on those? And do them like when we do our show for that day.
Yeah, let's wait on that.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I got them out a page and a half of fucking bowl games. I did not realize there was that many bowl games.
So many.
But yeah, guys. I think that wraps us up. Holy shit. Hour and 17 minutes in. But we all have a good night, good weekend, and go blue. And we'll see you next